Okay, TCF patch 1.3.5 going live July 6th, 2022. For me, that is tomorrow or today, the day this video comes out, Wednesday, the 6th, 2022, Anno Domini. Hey there, prospectors. Our weekly update is arriving soon. And as every week, we have some patch notes to share with you all. By the way, remember last week when we mentioned the upcoming patch focusing more on weapons and balancing? Yep, that's the one. Pog. Okay, cool. So this will really change up some PvP. Let's see how she feels. Changes. SMGs. Reduced horizontal recoil. Reduced ADS movement speed reduction from 30 to 25%. I like this. I think the most important thing for SMGs to happen originally was the effective range kill, because they cannot be as good as ARs at normal range, right? They should be effective at closer range, but the recoil was still too great. I love that they reduced the horizontal recoil. Also, the movement speed is something that specifically sets them apart from shotguns. So there is the potential for people to schmoove and groove on these shotgun Andes, right, at close range. And it provides a meaningful spot for SMGs. We'll see how the reduction feels in the movement speed. It's actually a speed boost. You're going to be moving faster with a reduction of speed reduction, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing how they feel. I'll probably buy a couple of flechettes and give it a whirly bird. Shotties. Trench gun, reduced base damage. And we called this, so this is specific, two less damage per pellet. And I think this is going to put it in a much more meaningful spot. Like what we saw originally with the spread, we knew wasn't going to be an effective change. This is actually going to have a serious impact on shotties. Maelstrom, reduced recoil, good. Increased spread, bad. Hipfire spread is going up. ADS spread is also going up. The spread increased speed is going to be higher. Reduced camera shaking intensity. I'm glad about the camera shake, but ultimately this is a nerf to the Maelstrom. The gun is already incredibly weak, and this is going in the wrong direction, in my opinion. This gun does not have a place in the current meta in any way, shape, or form, and they've just effectively nerfed it. And that feels bad. Increased refire time from 0.5 to 0.6. So this is a slow incremental nerf on the Bulldog here, and I think that it's okay. I prefer these incremental changes in the right direction as long as it's the right direction. Increased spread to be more in line with the spread of the other shotties. I expected this to happen. I was surprised that they didn't increase the spread of the Bulldog when they did originally nerf the spread of the other ones. Bulldog, probably the best gun in the game per value for me personally for the last like 2-3 weeks. This will change up the meta a little bit. I don't know if this is enough of a nerf to knock it out as my favorite gun in the game, but we will see. We'll definitely play around with it. Manicore, increased recoil, definitely needed to happen. Thank God. That's really good. The damage nerf from last time wasn't enough. We definitely expected an increase in recoil. They're really doing a lot of the things that we expected them to do here. And that's a really good feeling, right? From people that are playing the game like extensively. I'm not surprised by any of this other than the Maelstrom one. Grenades added a 1.8 second delay between grenade throws, preventing players from just unleashing a barrage of explosives and hoping to hit the jackpot. This isn't enough. I actually don't like this change. I much would have preferred that grenades would shred armor instead of dealing crazy damage to players, because at the end of the day, people can still land like a touchdown or a Kobe, whatever you want to call it, and just blow the shit out of somebody. And I don't feel like that's intelligent gameplay. It doesn't add to the skill ceiling in any way, shape, or form. What I would prefer to see is that if a grenade hits on a player, it does a little bit of health damage, but a lot of armor damage. And then the player still has to finish them with gunshots. They still have to hit their shots. I think it's infinitely more skillful that way. I also think it makes a lot more sense in the grand scheme of things, considering that the numerator of armor doesn't impact the damage reduction that happens for each armor. If this actually provides an opportunity for that numerator to hit 0, which is the only time that the damage mitigation is less, right? It becomes non-existent, and then it's as if they are an unarmored target. It just doesn't make sense to me in the current way that it works. Like, no one is ever dealing enough damage to get his armor down to 0, right? I'm not a big fan of it, and I think that it would feel a lot better if the grenades dealt this armor damage. It would make a lot more sense the delay is okay. But if you have a squad of 3 at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much each grenade is delayed. That's still 3 grenades landing on top of your head potentially, right? Or 3 separate locations, not allowing you to move away from that location and getting the kill instantly, rather than them having to actually land a shot, given that there's line of sight, etc. So I don't like this change. I don't think they're really thinking about it in like the grand scheme of things, and I just don't think it changes a lot. So I'm kind of disappointed by this. I think that's a bit short-sighted. Power progression. Increased pen of all epic weapons from 26 to 27. We expected this. A lot of the increases, a little bit of a buff for like the higher end stuff. And I think that's probably good a little bit. Just kind of depends. There is like pen drop off on lower tier armor. So you're not going to see the crazy damage occurring, even with like the increased pen on a lot of these like guns. It drops off against lower tier. It's mostly meant to shred higher tiered armors to be able to get through that damage mitigation. It doesn't have the exponential effect that it used to have on the lower tiers, if that makes sense. Increased pen on all exotics by 1. Increased pen of all legendaries by 1. Increased armor of epic shield and epic helmet from 26 to 27, so 1 apiece. Increased armor of exotic shield, exotic helmet, MV helmet 28 to 29. And again, very stepwise, very incremental. One tick each direction. I think that this is fine. We'll see how this feels. If it's too strong, then maybe it gets moved back. I think that this is fine, and probably puts it in a more meaningful spot, because for the longest time, blue armor in general has just been in such a sweet spot for the value, and the ones above it just didn't give you enough of a reason to craft it, and maybe this does, right? But I'm glad that they didn't like go crazy with this. Autoloader crafting. Hydraulic pistons in the recipe are replaced by ball bearings to reduce the overall number of hydraulic pistons. That's good. That's good. I do find myself running out of the pistons quite a bit. They're required for a lot of things. Ball bearings are not required for really anything, and it's one of the main items that I haven't been picking up specifically. I don't have a bunch of stacks of this in my inventory, and now I'll have to actually pick them up and keep them. So that's good. I think that's probably a good call. Movement and climbing. More additional tweaks to vaulting and climbing. Adjusted max wall climbing distance from 90 to 100. That way, you should be able to climb shipping containers. Okay, I think that's fine. We'll see if this creates any interesting climb ups that didn't already exist. Time will tell. We implemented the first iteration of the "You are banned" screen to prevent further confusion about some login issues. Nice. People who are cheating get banned, then they can't log in, and then they submit a ticket like, "Hey man, I can't, for some reason, it's very strange. Maybe you guys can help me figure this out. Why can't I log in?" So this will be nice. Now they'll know. Now they'll know. Poggers. Bug fixes. We checked with our official tailor. Prospectors who bought the Paladin set and ended up with 2 chests and no gloves will now have access to what they purchased after the maintenance. Cool. Miscellaneous additional tweaks to our internal anti-cheat measures. We are now tracking and having ban automation for additional stats. Nice. So this is like more things, like more anomalies in someone's statistics are going to flag them and get them popped, which is awesome. So the more of these, the better. Known issues. Biker Queen image shows black hair, though she has white. We saw this in the last known issues. Players on Epic Games Store who own the Ronin. We're missing pieces. We'll get those back. Nice. So, I mean, overall, I'm curious, okay, the big question is, does this remove the Bulldog from my go-to setup? Is the Mana Core nerfed enough? I really don't think the grenade thing is like a meaningful change, and probably not the direction I'd like to see it go. Blows my mind about the Maelstrom getting nerfed. I don't really understand that. It's already very, very weak. And does the trench gun end up falling out of favor? Maybe people start utilizing the white AR more, because I don't see any changes to this. I think we probably see a lot more white ARs if this Mana Core, nerf is meaningful. So time will tell. We'll see how it all feels. Let me know what you think about the changes, and give it a whirl and report back. Let me know what you think is too strong of a buff, too strong of a nerf, not enough. Let a brother know in the comments down below. Good luck out there.